tell you that kindness is the highest virtue, that if you are good, people will be good to you. But reality is far more brutal. The more kindness you give, the more people see weakness. The more you forgive, the more they take advantage. The world does not respect those who hand out kindness like cheap currency. It respects those who stand firm, who control their emotions, who demand respect without ever needing to ask for it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And that is the heart of the matter. True strength is not in being endlessly kind, it is in being disciplined, unshakable, and firm. Stoicism teaches us that kindness without strength is like a shield made of paper, easily torn apart, leaving you defenseless against the cruelty of the world. Today, we will explore 6 hard-hitting truths about why kindness makes people disrespect you, and what a Stoic does instead. If you have ever felt undervalued, ignored, or taken for granted, this will change the way you think forever. Let's begin. Number 1. People do not respect what comes too easily. In human nature, there is an undeniable truth. What is easily obtained is rarely valued. The more freely you give your time, energy, and kindness, the more people assume it holds no worth. Seneca warned us of this when he said, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver." If kindness is given indiscriminately, without thought or measure, it ceases to be seen as an act of virtue, and instead becomes an expectation, something people feel entitled to, rather than something they appreciate. Consider the man who always agrees, who never says no, who bends over backward to accommodate others. At first he is met with gratitude, but over time that gratitude decays into complacency. People start to assume he will always be there, always available, always willing. They stop thanking him, they stop respecting him, and eventually, they start using him. A Stoic does not offer kindness cheaply. He understands its value and gives it only where it is deserved. He does not seek approval through his actions, nor does he hand out his energy like a man emptying his pockets into the sea. Instead, he stands firm. He chooses who is worthy of his efforts, and in doing so, his kindness retains its power. Epictetus teaches us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. To demand respect, you must first be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to say no when necessary, to let others assume you are cold, unkind, or selfish, because in the end, their opinions do not define your value. Your actions do. If you find that people are taking your kindness for granted, ask yourself, have you made it too easy? Have you handed it out too freely? Respect is not given to those who bend. It is given to those who stand firm. Number 2. The more you suppress your own needs, the more others will suppress them too. A man who neglects himself in the name of kindness does not earn admiration. He earns neglect. The world takes its cues from you. If you treat yourself as an afterthought, others will follow. If you prioritize everyone else's comfort above your own, they will come to expect it. And soon, your needs will not just be ignored, they will be erased. Marcus Aurelius advised, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." But what happens when a man places everyone's ambitions above his own? He shrinks. He disappears into the background of his own life, making way for others while his own desires wither in the shadows. People will not stop him. They will not insist that he put himself first. Why would they? He has already shown them that he does not consider himself important. Think of the one who always sacrifices, the friend who never asks for anything, the colleague who never demands recognition, the partner who always compromises. At first, this selflessness seems noble, even admirable, but over time it becomes expected. The world grows comfortable with his silence, with his willingness to step aside. And when the day comes that he finally asks for something in return, his request is met with surprise, even resistance. A Stoic does not live this way. He understands that self-respect is not arrogance. It is not selfishness. It is the foundation of strength. To be truly kind, you must first be strong, and to be strong, you must respect your own needs. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. A man must decide what he values, what he is willing to give, and what he will never compromise. The moment he sets these boundaries, the world begins to respect them. But if he does not, then he has chosen his fate. To be ignored, to be walked over, to be forgotten. You cannot force people to respect you. but you can refuse to tolerate their disrespect. And that begins with how you treat yourself. Number 3. Kindness without strength invites exploitation. Kindness is a virtue, but kindness without strength is an invitation to be used. A man who is kind but lacks the backbone to enforce his limits does not inspire admiration, he attracts predators. There are those who do not see kindness as generosity, but as an opportunity. They interpret gentleness as weakness and patience as submission. To them, a man who does not push back is not noble. He is prey. Seneca warned us, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." A man who walks through life believing that kindness alone will shield him from cruelty is deceived. He is unprepared for the reality of the world, a world where some will take as much as you allow, where they will push until they find resistance, and if they find none, they will take everything. Look at history. Look at the weak-willed rulers, the men who tried to govern with kindness alone without enforcing order. They were overthrown, betrayed, cast aside. Why? Because power respects power. Even the gentlest ruler must be willing to act with force when necessary, or his kingdom will fall. A Stoic understands this. He is not cruel, but neither is he naive. He does not confuse passivity with kindness, nor does he mistake tolerance for virtue. He offers his kindness, but he does not beg for it to be accepted. He does not fear cutting off those who take without giving, who disrespect his presence, who see his goodness as a weakness to be exploited. Epictetus said, "If someone tried to take control of your body, you would fight for it. Yet how easily you hand over your mind." Many hand over more than their mind. They hand over their dignity, their time, their kindness, without asking for anything in return. They let others dictate their worth, hoping that if they are good enough, they will be treated with respect. But respect is not given, it is enforced, not through aggression, not through cruelty, but through the simple refusal to be used. The world does not honor those who grovel, it honors those who stand. Number 4, emotional reactivity undermines authority. There is a fundamental flaw in those who rely on kindness to gain respect. They often allow their emotions to rule them. They feel wronged when their generosity is not reciprocated. They grow bitter when their kindness is met with indifference. They expect the world to reward their goodness, and when it does not, they suffer. But a Stoic does not suffer from such illusions. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The moment you expect the world to respond to you in a certain way, you give it power over you. The moment you react emotionally to disrespect, you reveal weakness. People do not respect those who are easily shaken. They respect those who remain unmoved, who do not flinch in the face of insult or rejection. The more reactive a man is, the less control he has. And the less control he has, the less respect he commands. Imagine two men. One is kind but fragile. When others dismiss him, he becomes frustrated. When they ignore his generosity, he grows resentful. His emotions betray him. His need to be seen as good becomes his greatest weakness. The other man is kind, but indifferent to how others perceive him. He offers generosity when it suits him, but never to win approval. He does not flinch when ignored, nor does he react when slighted. His emotions are his own, not something to be manipulated by others. Which man holds the power? The first is ruled by his emotions, the second rules over them. Seneca teaches us, a wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. Respect is not won through outward gestures of kindness. It is won through an unshakable presence, a mind that cannot be disturbed. A man who remains centered, no matter how the world treats him. A Stoic understands this. He does not expect fairness, nor does he grow resentful when he does not receive it. He acts with virtue, not for recognition, but because it aligns with his nature. And in doing so, he commands respect, not through force, not through demand, but through the sheer weight of his presence. Number 5. A man who seeks to be liked will never be respected. A man who chases approval is a man who loses himself. The need to be liked is the death of authority, of presence, of strength. The more a man bends himself to fit the expectations of others, the more he is overlooked. The moment he seeks to please, he forfeits his ability to command respect. Epictetus reminds us, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This is the heart of the matter. A Stoic does not seek validation. He does not adjust his nature to win favor. He does not degrade himself to earn the shallow approval of those who do not matter. He acts in accordance with his principles, whether others approve or not. Think of the man who is desperate to be liked. He laughs too quickly. He agrees too often. He avoids conflict, never expressing his true opinions for fear of rejection. At first, people may tolerate him, even humor him, but over time, his eagerness becomes repulsive. Why? Because he lacks weight. He lacks depth. He is a mirror, reflecting back whatever others want to see, instead of being something solid, something unmovable. Now think of the opposite. A man who does not care for approval. He speaks only when necessary. He does not seek attention, nor does he shrink when it comes to him. He does not shape himself to be liked, and in doing so, he becomes someone worth noticing. Seneca warned us, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This applies not only to wealth, but to validation. The man who craves approval will always be poor. Poor in respect, poor in self-worth, poor in true relationships. But the man who acts without needing recognition, he is free. A Stoic understands this. He does not chase admiration. He does not dilute his character to fit into the mold of what others want. And because he does not seek respect, he naturally commands it. The moment you stop trying to be liked, you will notice something. People will listen more. They will watch more. They will feel the weight of your presence. This is because true respect is not demanded. It is cultivated through strength, through detachment, through an unwavering sense of self. Number 6, true respect comes from mastery over yourself, not from pleasing others. A man who lacks control over himself will always be controlled by others. A man who cannot master his emotions, his impulses, his desires, he is a puppet, easily manipulated, easily dismissed. The world does not respect those who cannot command themselves. It respects those who are disciplined, those who move with purpose, those who answer to no one but their own principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But most people do not own their thoughts. They let the opinions of others dictate their self-worth. They let rejection shake them. They let praise inflate them. They are not masters of themselves. They are prisoners of external validation. A Stoic is different. He does not seek approval. He seeks mastery. He knows that respect cannot be given to those who have not earned it from themselves first. A man who cannot trust his own mind, his own discipline, his own purpose, why should anyone else trust him? Look at the men history remembers. They were not the most agreeable, they were not the kindest, they were the most unshakable. The ones who held their ground, who did not need constant reassurance, who did not crumble under criticism. It is self-command that creates presence, and it is presence that commands respect. Seneca teaches us, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. A Stoic understands that true respect does not come from how much kindness he offers. It comes from how little he needs in return. He is generous, but not dependent. He is kind, but not weak. He stands alone if necessary, without resentment, without fear. The world does not respect those who seek permission to exist. It respects those who stand firm in who they are. The moment you stop chasing approval, stop explaining yourself, stop looking outward for validation, you will notice something. People will listen. People will take you seriously, because they will sense that you do not need them. You have already mastered yourself. Conclusion. Strength first, kindness second. Kindness is not a weakness, but when it is given without strength, it is treated as one. The world does not respect those who bend too easily, those who give without boundaries, those who place kindness above self-respect. A Stoic understands this. He knows that to be truly respected, he must first master himself. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A good man is not simply kind. He is strong. He does not expect fairness, nor does he grow bitter when the world fails to recognize his efforts. He gives not to be liked, but because it aligns with his nature. And if his kindness is met with disrespect, he does not complain. He does not react. He simply removes himself from those who do not value him. Remember this. If you do not respect yourself, no one else will. If you suppress your own needs, others will too. If you seek approval, you will never find respect. And if you give your kindness freely, Without requiring strength in return, the world will take it and give you nothing back. A Stoic does not live for the opinions of others. He does not let his emotions betray him. He does not chase validation. He moves with purpose, detached from praise and criticism alike. And because of this, the world cannot help but respect him. Now the question is, will you choose to be that man? What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.